Safety on a construction job site doesn't happen by accident. Your employer is responsible for creating a hazard-free workplace so you don't get hurt while on the job. But keep in mind, your personal safety starts with you. You need to be aware of the potential hazards on the job site, you need to take action to avoid or eliminate them, and you need to report any hazards or unsafe conditions. The most basic way you can stay safe while on the job is through various work practices. Safe work practices are a combination of learned behaviors, routines, and habits you can use in order to protect yourself while on the job. And after completing this training module, you'll be able to demonstrate safe work practices and procedures that can help protect you and others around you. Did you know? How you take care of yourself off the job has a big impact on how well you perform on the job. By eating right, getting enough sleep, exercising regularly, and having a healthy way to handle stress, you'll feel better at home and at work. And for some, not taking care of yourself can ultimately affect your ability to stay focused and work safely, which could lead to carelessness and on-the-job accidents. Being physically, mentally, and emotionally fit will enable you to put forth your best effort and stay safe at work. Construction work often requires heavy manual lifting, and your body may be subject to repetitive twisting or flexing motions, which can damage your muscles, tendons, ligaments, and nerves, especially in your back. And over time, this stress on your body can result in painful musculoskeletal disorders, which may require treatment, therapy, or worse, surgery. Most job sites use forklifts and other equipment to lift and move heavy objects. However, sometimes it's necessary to move objects by hand. In these situations, knowing the proper way to lift can help you prevent back injuries. Always make a plan before lifting. First, ensure your path is clear of all hazards like loose materials or debris. And be careful on uneven ground and slippery surfaces. Then, test the object's weight by lifting one of the corners. If the load is too heavy, or if the object is oddly shaped, use a mechanical lifting device or ask for help. When you're ready to move the object, place your feet as close to it as you can. Position your body so you're centered over the load, then get low by bending at your knees. Be sure to get a good grip on the object and then lift straight up with your legs in a smooth motion. Don't twist or turn your body as you walk, and keep the load steady and close to your body. Any sudden twisting or turning can result in a back injury. Once you reach your destination, lower the load slowly by bending your knees and letting your legs do most of the work. Don't let go of the object until it is securely in place. While poor lifting technique is a leading cause of back pain, there are other contributing factors. Sitting or standing with poor posture, especially for long periods of time, strains your back muscles and can lead to back pain and injuries. And it's worth noting that many back injuries don't develop from a single lift, but from relatively minor strains over time. So take your time and do every lift right. No one knows your body better than you. If you're ever uncomfortable or unsure about the safety of your back, talk to your foreman. It's better to be safe than sorry. Whether moving materials manually or mechanically, safe work practices can mean the difference between a life and death situation. Falls, struck by, and crushing hazards are just a few of the dangers construction workers face when it comes to material handling and storage, especially with the use of heavy mechanical equipment on the job site. Properly store, tie down, turn off, and secure all materials and equipment when not in use. Use blocking materials large enough to support the load safely. When moving objects manually, grasp available handholds to avoid pinch hazards. Slips and trips. We've all been there. Usually they're the result of moving too fast or not paying attention. And you know how much it can hurt when they end in a fall. Slip, trip, and fall hazards can exist anywhere on a job site, but most of these hazards can be prevented through some personal best practices and a little good housekeeping. As you move about the job site, you can avoid slips, trips, and falls by regularly checking your footwear and cleaning off any excessive amounts of dirt or grease, keeping a clear line of sight, Make sure you can see where you're going and never carry a load you can't see over or around. Taking your time, even when you're in a hurry, always walk at a reasonable pace and be aware of your surroundings. And keeping at least one hand free when possible so you can use handrails on stairs and ramps. Good housekeeping is more than just cleaning. For example, a cord crossing a walkway is a tripping hazard, and spills left on the ground can cause someone to slip and fall. Housekeeping is not a one-time exercise, but rather an ongoing effort. Do your part by removing or reporting any slip, trip, or fall hazards you encounter in your workplace. It's likely you'll need to wear some type of personal protective equipment, or PPE, as part of your job. You can think of PPE as being a shield between you and any possible hazards you might encounter. There are many forms of PPE designed to protect different parts of your body from various hazards. Let's start at the top. If you work where objects may fall from above or hit you on the side of your head, you may be required to wear a hard hat. There are different types and classes of hard hats, and each one is designed to protect you against specific hazards. For example, a Class G hard hat provides general protection, while a Class E hard hat offers protection against high-voltage shocks and burns. It's important you wear the proper hard hat for your work environment and the hazards you might face. Aside from the hard outer shell, the suspension system inside the hard hat leaves some space between the shell and your head. This helps absorb the impact so you don't feel the full force when something hits your head. Adjust the suspension system to get a snug fit. You all know the uncomfortable feeling of getting something in your eye. Eye and face protection prevents injuries from chips, sparks or other flying particles, splashes, and harmful light radiation. Common types of eye and face PPE worn on job sites include safety glasses, goggles, face shields, and welding goggles and helmets. Regular prescription glasses don't offer adequate protection. If you wear them, you'll need to also wear safety glasses or goggles over them. And remember, if you need to wear a face shield, you must wear safety glasses or goggles too. If you work around loud equipment or power tools, you may become so used to the noise that you don't even notice it after a while. Exposure to excessive noise can cause gradual hearing loss. As the damage builds over time, you'll eventually be able to notice this permanent loss to your hearing. If your job site is noisy, wear hearing protection such as earplugs, earmuffs, or canal caps to prevent hearing loss. Also, get your hearing tested at least once a year to make sure your hearing protection is effectively doing its job. Inhalation is the quickest and most direct route for airborne contaminants to enter your body, so it's important to protect yourself by using appropriate respiratory protection. Different respirators are designed to protect against different inhalation hazards. When worn properly, they keep dusts, vapors, fumes, and mists from entering your lungs. Respiratory protection is also required to supply clean breathing air when oxygen levels are too low. If you wear a respirator for work, you'll need to pass a medical evaluation beforehand. And if the respirator you use has a tight-fitting facepiece, you'll need to go through a routine fit test every year. If your job involves potential hazards to your hands and arms, you'll need to protect them too. Gloves are the most common type of PPE and can protect against cuts, abrasions, burns, and electric shock. Gloves come in a variety of styles and fabrics designed for specific situations. For instance, leather or canvas gloves are good for handling rough objects like glass, sheet metal, or loose boards with nails in them, while fabric gloves protect against dirt and abrasions. If you're at risk of foot injuries from falling or rolling objects, or from crushing or penetrating materials, you must wear protective footwear. This includes steel-toed boots or shoes. You'll want to wear the right type of safety shoe or boot for the hazards present. In some situations, you may need to add guards to cover the tops of your feet or insert metal insoles to protect from puncture hazards. Electrical hazard safety shoes are necessary if you're at risk for shock or electrocution. If there is any risk of injury to your entire body that your employer can't eliminate, you'll need to wear full body protection. Examples of body protection include coveralls, vests, jackets, chemical-resistant bodysuits, and fire-resistant or FR clothing. Regardless of the type of PPE you use, get in the habit of routinely inspecting it and always follow the manufacturer's suggested maintenance and replacement schedules. Never use any damaged gear. Turn it in to your foreman for replacement or repair. Keep your PPE clean and store it properly after each use. Be sure to protect it from contamination, damage, dampness, and direct sunlight. By keeping it safe, it will do a better job of keeping you safe. Falls are the leading cause of fatalities in the construction industry. When working at heights, various forms of fall protection will warn you of potential fall hazards, keep you from falling, or safely stop you if you do fall. Anyone on a walking working surface 6 feet or more above a lower level, constructing a leading edge, or working in hoisting areas is required to have fall protection. Several fall protection systems may be in use at your job site. Guardrail systems are physical barriers used along an unprotected or exposed side edge or other area of a walking working surface to prevent you from falling to a lower level. Safety net systems are horizontal or semi-horizontal barriers that use a netting system to stop you or tools from falling before contacting the surface or structure below. Warning line systems are defined areas on a low-sloped roof commonly used on rooftops to warn you if you're approaching an unprotected roof edge. You can perform work inside a warning line system without additional fall protection. A personal fall arrest system is a form of PPE that safely stops you from falling and includes a body harness, a lanyard or other connector, and an anchorage point. You must be trained by a competent person anytime you could be exposed to fall hazards. Training includes recognizing fall hazards at your job site and how to minimize them, correct procedures for erecting, maintaining, disassembling, and inspecting the fall protection equipment and systems you will use, proper use and operation of the fall protection and fall arrest systems, your role in a safety monitoring system if it is used, limitations of the use of mechanical equipment when working on low-sloped roofs, procedures for the handling and storage of equipment and materials, and the erection of overhead protection, your role in the fall protection plans, and an understanding of the OSHA fall protection rules. Your employer must retrain you as necessary and prepare a written certification of your training. Contrary to popular belief, it is possible to prevent injury and death caused by falls. Use fall protection equipment correctly, protect it from job site hazards, and inspect it prior to each use. Doing this may save your life. Here are some safe work practices to help reduce injuries and accidents while on the job site. Live a healthy lifestyle to reduce fatigue and prevent careless accidents. Use good lifting techniques, and whenever possible, use a mechanical lifting device. Keep your work areas clean and always store or dispose of all materials properly. Wear the proper PPE for the job, and recognize fall hazards and use systems to prevent fall injuries. You've learned some important safe work practices. Keep them in mind while you're on the job site and follow them to keep you and your coworkers safe.